rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. Happy New Year! First episode of 2025. Thank you for joining us on this special episode, I guess, of Radio Rebellion. A little bit early. I am your host, Papito Calderon, and thank you for joining us today. It is Friday. If you're watching us live today, I know we came in a little bit early, a little bit hot, but life happens. Things are gonna be busy on Saturday, so at least for the next couple of weeks, we'll be coming to you live same time as today on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we'll go ahead, we'll release the audio podcast a little bit early also, so people out there can listen to it early. But how is everyone doing? Thank you for being here today. Again, it's 2025 already. Happy New Year to everyone. Our first episode of the new year, and can't be happier that we're talking about Skeleton Crew. Another great episode on this series. Hasn't really missed so far, but I'm going to be talking about it real soon. So let's get on with those couple of housekeeping things. If you're watching it for the first time, thank you for being here. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new episodes when they drop. And when sometimes we change our drop day. So be sure that you subscribe to it. Like this video, give that thumbs up. And if you're watching later on the replay, give us a comment. Let us know your comments or your thoughts on anything we're discussing. We'll come back and read those. And if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, thank you. And give us a 5-star rating and review. Whew, yeah. You see my new additions. So happy. Thanks to our friend. I'll call her our friend. She was here last year or a year and a half ago. Great author Lydia Kang sent us this great High Republic posters. You see there, Marky on Row. Little Baron Bulan, not little, but look at that scruffy face. Look at that scruffy face. She also sent me Senator Gira Staros and Drigit Pars. Didn't have space for them. Maybe next week we'll switch them out. We'll see. But thank you again, Lydia Kang. Go ahead and follow her on all the social media. She Cataclysm, one of the best Phase 2 books out, and she has some great stories also related to the High Republic. So go check those out. So thank you again to Lydia Kang. All right, who's out there today? I saw our friend Brennan, as always, page turners though or not. Thank you for being here, Brennan. Hello there. Another great episode. Brennan, you are right. So let's go ahead. I think we're ready, right? It's Friday, end of the week. People are going to the weekend. I'm a little bit bummed because my work vacation is coming to an end. This is my final two days off, and then we're back to work on Monday. But apart from that, if you guys are ready, I'm not ready. Let's talk Star Wars and Star Wars on TV.
I am not your failure, Obi-Wan.
Star Wars on TV.
All right, so let's get on. Episode 6, Skeleton Crew, Zero Friends Again. This was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, which of course she hasn't missed with her episodes on The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and I believe she also did an Ahsoka episode, if I'm not mistaken. And now here's Skeleton Crew episode 6, Zero Friends Again. And big ups, big thanks to the writer of that episode also, Myung John Wesner. She killed it. I believe she wrote the previous episode and this one. The two of them working together delivered a great episode. Like, we're back. I know I was a little bit down on the last two episodes. Not really down, but they weren't my favorites. The ending to both of those episodes were great. I thought some of the things in between didn't work too well for me, but man, this episode is going to be up there in my favorite so far of this series. It was great, and it goes back to those pirate vibes. I mentioned before how much we've been loving all the pirate vibes that Skeleton Crew has been giving us, not just that ambling 80s feel type of shows and movies. It's really a pirate show, basically. It's not just, yeah, this is Goonies in space. Yes, it is, but it's also a pirate show. Like half of it, 3/4 is a pirate show. And it really delved back into it, and I love everything that has to do with John, with Captain Brutus, which is one of my new favorite Star Wars characters out there. The design of him, the voice actor is great, and the sound effects that they do for him is just top notch. So I love every time that Brutus is on the screen. He has such a menacing presence to him, but we just want to give him a big hug because he's just a furry little guy. But that again, this is where the show thrives, at least for myself, is when it has those pirate vibes and all the, I'm gonna say, buccaneer things out there are happening. But was anybody happier than Jod Nanawood or Dash Sentin or Captain Matt, Captain Silver, whatever you want to call him? When he came out of that drain, just dressed in gold, basically, all that gold dropping off, drashing from him. Dude, he was the happiest ever. Like, finally, I found the big score I've been waiting for. He got it. So I love seeing him so happy. And then, boom, that didn't last anything. Having all the administrators for Lanupa, they're waiting for him. Of course, the pirates weren't too far behind, which I guess that acid, some Timu acid right there, didn't kill anyone. Didn't even cut off a leg or some toes. Everyone was perfectly fine. So I don't know where, what's his name? Captain Jack Reynolds found that acid, but I guess whatever space demo is, because it didn't work too well. But I'm glad because we got more of Pocket. It's one of my favorite, again, characters design so far this show are killing it. I love Pocket. I mentioned it last week. I hope we get more with her. We got, again, just that one little scene. Hopefully she's a recovering character. Maybe not in this series. It depends where the final 2 episodes take us. I didn't see her in the ship with Brutus and all the other aliens and pirates. Of course, she mentions she's more a bounty hunter with I think, a private contractor now. But hopefully she'll show up. Mandalorian movie, Dave Filoni movie, or some other show, TV, animated series, books. I don't care. Give me more Pocket. I want to see her. Just forgot where I was going, but how happy he was coming out with that, all the necklace and all this stuff. And then when the pirates say, 33 attack, and poor 33 gotta love him. He's loyal to a fault to his captain. Tries to come out of the drain, also all dressed in gold almost, and just got shot down immediately. I have not a theory. I have a question for where is SM33 going? Where we're gonna see him in the future in this series? I mean, I will talk about that a little bit later in the episode, but once I get to that, I'm just gonna be talking about the pirate stuff now because that's what it hooked me right into the episode. Just all the pirate stuff. So when they go back to Brutus' ship, I guess I don't know if they said the name of that ship. I guess I missed it. But anyway, trial by Brutus. Basically, Jod or Captain Silvo at this point, he's undergoing trial from Brutus. We know this from episode 2 or episode 3 was going to be put on trial, and Brutus said, "Hey, death by airlock, you're going to be gone." And I'm going to mention it again. I said it last week. I'll say this. We'll probably keep saying it all through the end of this show. It's the devotion and how much far they went into creating all these different alien characters that we see on the show. It's not the first time we've seen alien characters. We've seen plenty of alien characters in The Mandalorian, in Book of Boba Fett. We do have some in Andor, which I know was one of the criticisms that show got. But here they are front and center, and they're not just 20 Nictos that look the same or some weak ways that we've seen before. These are like we have a bunch of Ithorians, we have Quarrens, we have I forgot the one with the 3 eye stalks and the pirate, the bird beak one. We have a bunch of the Last Jedi aliens on Lanupa when they're coming out. This how much they've dedicated to highlighting the aliens here when they're in Brutus's ship. Like maybe 3 or 4 humans, and then like 12 or 15 alien characters, all with distinct. They're not the same. Like there's 2 Quarrens, they're very different. And of course, Brutus, at least to me, is a new design. I believe there's one in the original trilogy, I think in A New Hope in the Cantina. But this is taking it to another level. So I love how much they put into the alien work in this show so far. And again, I loved it here. Before we keep going, our friend is here. Hey, Scarif Scotable, thanks for joining us. Last time you were here, my connection went down, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. Yeah, Ro looks good on that poster, and Ro out there from Scuttlepot, Scarif Scuttlebot podcast. Sorry. So yeah, like you're saying, Jude Law has been fantastic in this show. I said it last week when I went back and kind of did my own little recap on the episode. There's no way that he doesn't come back, right? For one of the movies. It makes sense that he'll be most likely in the Dave Filoni movie if he combines all the what people are calling this Mandoverse show. It makes sense that you put Jude Law on the big screen with the title Star Wars somewhere. So yeah, he's been great. I mean, all the interviews that he's done, his emotions, how ecstatic he is to be on Star Wars, it shows up on screen also. Um, yeah, wouldn't mind a pirate show or more with Pocket. Yeah, it'll be great. I hopefully we'll get it at some point. All right, so let's keep going. So when Jod is about to be put to death by airlock, one of the other few humans that we have there, he still has the right to last appeal. His pirate code, he needs to be able to get it the same amount of time to plead his case, basically. And I give it to Captain Silvo. He did great. He was smart. He didn't go and try to explain why they couldn't kill him. He appealed to all the pirates there, like, I'm tired, I'm hungry, and you guys are hungry, right? We haven't quote unquote eaten in a while. We're tired. I said before, Quarrens are my favorite alien design in Star Wars. So I love the Quarren here. They gave him the worst name possibly, Glurb, which, sorry, if you're any type of creature and your name is Glurb, I'm not gonna take you seriously. But I love the Quarren. I love Quarren Glurb. He appealed to him, oh, you're saving for the glow wheat farm that you want, the glow wheat plantation, and then to Kona, what's all the other humans there? You should have your own command and not just a ship, a whole fleet. And I know where this is. And then, because I see from Captain Renaud, and I know where Athens is. So he appealed to everyone's desire, what they want, which is this big score. It wasn't, don't kill me, please let me leave. It's, if you let me leave, I'll take you to that big score we've been trying to get to for so long. So, but he bought himself a little bit more time, even though Brutus isn't too happy and he's about to push him out the airlock anyways if they can't find the gold in Athens. And he recites this legend of at Athens and Captain Renaud. He sings this legend, which is a very pirate thing to do. All the pirate shows and pirate movies that we've seen, there's always some type of singing out there. So again, I just love all those vibes that they keep throwing at us. Again, talking about not having enough credits to go forward and saying, "No, I found it. It's on an Athens, the last Old Republic credit mail. We can have as many credits as we want to. We'll never run short." And that's what got them. Okay, we're going at Athens. Let's go out there. Which makes next week very interesting, which I'm guessing next week is when they'll get to at Athens. But so when Jod came out of the sewers in Lanup and the pirates gun, the first things that they grabbed was a lightsaber. They didn't make a big show of it. He just kind of showed it real quick to the camera before it cut out. I'm guessing it's obvious, or it hasn't been expressed, that the pirates don't know that he's force sensitive, right? So I'm gonna guess that that's gonna come up at some point in the finale, or either next week or in the finale. It might come back to bite him, which is what he uses to save himself or save the kids in front of the pirates. I don't think that they know that he is force sensitive. Um, so yeah, just really waiting for that to see where it comes back. But the big thing in this episode was the kids, right? We love how much emphasis they've given the kids so far. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, how every episode has focused on different kid and kind of giving us more background to all of them. KB had been the one that we really don't know too much about her. and this was full on her story and what's been going on with her. Um, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago in when they went to at Akron that she didn't seem like herself. She was acting a little bit off kilter, like when Wing gives her a high five. She took a little bit longer to react when she says the explosion of that statue. Sorry, the explosion of that statue. She didn't react. She just stood there, kind of looking at it. So I think it all just kind of it's a preamble to then this episode, which is another thing that I love is that they're taking their time to show what's happening. It's not like one episode, everything went to hell with her and then everything's fine or whatever. It was slowly how she was, I want to say corroding. I think it's the word that they said when she didn't want to go into the spa area. But also, I said this before also how the creators of this show have a great handle on how kids act, how kids interact among themselves. And it's because, sorry, this is, it's not, someone's calling my son. It shows up on mine for some reason, on my computer of all places. So I'm trying to figure this out as we go. But hopefully they don't call anymore. Where was I? Oh, so how the whole that the creators have on how kids interact and how kids act. Like I just went through this yesterday. Like my son got into an argument with a friend of his, and then a couple of minutes or got into it. We had not separated them, but kind of figure out what's going on. And then this morning, everything was fine. They talked, and they were all good. So it's like they, the creators of this show, know how kids interact among themselves. So it was great to see what happened. Before we go there, little grief that our friends from a certain point of view, certain point of view, sorry, are giving me. My phone is off, computer is ringing for some weird reason. Our friend Dale from Skywalker Academy is here. Thanks for joining us, Dale. So the kids, as all kids do, they get into arguments, they get into fights, and it was, other people have expressed it better than me. It was great to see how they dealt with KB's differences or her condition. We'll get to that in a minute, but it's basically we find out that KB has the coordinates for Aden. She knows how to get back home. She saw them when the image of Tag Rena showed up last week, so she was able to store that in her memory bank, I guess. So she knows how to get back home. Now the problem is how are we getting back to our ship? And they have that big argument between KB and Fern. I mean, I've been loving Fern. I've said it for since episode 1 how much I love that character. It threw me a little bit off that KB went straight to that argument. It seemed to come out of nowhere. They explain a lot of it, of course, through the episode. But since we hadn't seen her act that way the first 5 episodes, it kind of came out of nowhere. But it's fine. It still worked. And they basically separate. They divide and conquer. And I also, what I love is they decide to do this and then pair the kids up with their opposites in terms of, if it was just Wim and Neel and then KB and Fern, then okay, we've seen this before. So I love that we got KB and Wim by themselves and then Fern and Neel together because they played well against each other. Well, let's start, of course, with KB and Wim. We got the trash crabs. Anyone that's lived close to an island, the hermit crabs out there. We got Tamatoa, of course, at the end with all that shiny stuff glittering. We also the C-3PO leg basically going down the path with those crab, which great design, great fun. Another thing with this show, it doesn't forget that it's still a kid's show or a family-oriented show. So having those little scenes to break some of the tension was great. I love seeing the crowds just repeating. I know Wim, it was, oh, they're intelligent. They speak so they can take us to someone that can help. They're just repeating. They're basically like parrots, just repeating what they're hearing. But another thing that I appreciated when it's KB and Wim, when Wim is trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? Why did you go with me? Because you really believe in the trash crabs, or are you just mad at KB? You be honest, like tell me what's going on. sometimes it's easier to open up to people that you don't know that well or people that you just met. It's easier to tell them what's going on, what's the problem. It's easier to show the real you for to people that don't really know you, because there's not a lot of that baggage and you really don't care how they're going to react. So like KB mentioned, talking to women, if I haven't told her how I feel in terms of I can't do the same things that she can because I don't want to be alone. She said, then I'll be alone again, right? Kind of zero friends again. I won't have any friends again, which is what the, of course, the title of the episode. Come on, stop calling. I don't know why it keeps ringing. So sorry, I'll just see a phone ringing. Um, it just threw me off right now. Also, it was easier for KB to open up to Wim about what's going on because she doesn't want to lose Fern. That's her best friend. She doesn't want to tell her, hey, Fern, I can't do the things that you want me to do. I can do the same things that you're doing. She doesn't want to lose that friendship. And like if she said, I'll have zero friends again. So it's easier to tell that to someone that won't have that baggage. And maybe you won't feel too bad if they say that, okay, on this, I can't be your friend right now. But of course, Wim, being a great character that he is, he said, "Oh well, that's stupid," and then you can just be friends with me and Neel. And she takes it like she's accepted already by that group. Even if she's just been friends with Fern, she won't be alone. That she has friends in Neel and in Wim, which is why Wim is such a great character. And of course, Neel also when he has that conversation with Fern a little bit later, but what this all this brings up is also being different is not bad. Having a condition is not bad. Not being able to do the same things that others can is not bad. You're just different in your own ways, and you can do other things that maybe they can do. You can do them a different way. And maybe some people won't have the patience for it, which is what KB is also worried about Fern having patience in her having to wait for her, but you don't want to lose them. So it was great. And again, other people can talk about this better than I can. It was great to see this realized in a Star Wars show coming from a younger demographic, to being told to a younger demographic from characters their own age going through similar things. They can internalize better. And not just for the people that are going through that, but also on the other side for people like Fern to understand why maybe their friends are acting a little bit weird. If they say they can't go with you someplace that you want them to go, or if they used to go before, there's reasons for it. It's being able to talk about it. Let's just put it all out there, and if we're friends, we'll still be together. So it was great to get that conversations on both ends, especially, and then at the end we'll talk about KB and Fern when they reconcile. But just that quick interaction between KB and Wim was great to see. And in the middle of that is the tension that KB is breaking down. Like she's not moving, she's just sitting there, can't move. There was a little scene earlier before when, yeah, we just need to reset her occipital, whatever they said. It really is not that easy. She was shutting down, like she said, total system shutdown. They were close to it. So I know I saw a lot of reviews out there saying that, oh, the show slowed down a little bit in terms of actions and things like that. Would focus on what's going on with KB and Fern and all the kids. I don't feel that it slowed down in any sense because the tension was still there. Yeah, you basically know that none of those kids are going to die or nothing serious is going to happen to them. But you still have that little nagging feeling in the back of your head that what's going to happen. Can Wim save her? Wim's been messing up time and time again. He says it later in the episode, why do I always get it wrong who the good guy is? So that tension was there. And again, this is where Bryce Dallas Howard as a director comes in and directed the hell out of those kids, and those kids gave a great performance, all four of them, especially KB in that scene, just acting slowly. Everything had to be slow, but be able to articulate what she was trying to explain to Wim, and Wim having the not freaking out till the end until he found out what was going on. So it was a great tense scene, and the way it was broken, just trying. It was a little bit nasty scene. She has no brain, I guess. She has no brain. They open up the back of her head to put the little piece back in. So a great tense scene right after that conversation that they had. The music there worked great with the music shutting down at the same time that Wim closed the back of her visor. The music worked great. And then she wake up, and of course Wim didn't know how to react. She said, "Oh, you probably think it was going to be more exciting to save someone's life, but anyway, thanks, Jedi," which is what he wanted to be, right? First episode, what do you want to do with your life? I want to help people. I want to help people that need someone that can't help themselves. I want to be there for them. And that's exactly what he did. And this episode worked great, bringing everything back from the first half of the series, especially when we get to talk about saving the Onyx Cinder and getting the ship ready to fly again. It all comes back to those first 4 to 5 episodes. So, but it starts with that. He wanted to, quote unquote, be a Jedi. He got that chance of saving someone. And you can see it in the smile that he gave up after that great compliment. The only thing that this does is kind of breaks my theory that KB was force sensitive and she was starting to wake up again, having that force sensitivity come back if she didn't have her meds. That's not the case anymore. So again, I'll put that next to the pile to all my other theories that week by week keep falling down. But that's fine. Again, it was a better explanation of what's been going on and a great conversation between all the characters to her just being force sensitive. But what are you gonna do? We're in the speculation game, so that happens. All right, on the other end, we have Fern and Neel. Neel, at the same time, he didn't have an argument with Wim. He just didn't want to go with the trash crabs. He didn't trust them. He thought they were gonna be trouble. I'll go with Fern. It'll be better if we're in groups of twos. Whoever gets to the ship first can rescue the other ones. So they start climbing up the mountain, and of course Neel, God love him, he's a little bit smaller than Fern, so he's like, I can't reach the rungs. I can't reach between the rungs. He said, just hurry up. It's not that difficult. We're just going up, down. He can't. I can't. And he says, not everyone can do things the same way you can. Which again, they didn't spend 20 minutes on this. It's just a not throwaway line, but that's exactly what KB needed to tell him, or what Fern needed to hear to realize, excuse me, that KB can do the things the same as her. And that's why it's great coming from a kid like Neel, because even though he's the one that's always telling people to stop fighting, stop arguing, I would just say I'm sorry, he also has that presence of mind to kind of know when people are not at their best. So just that little line was enough to kind of click on Fern a little bit. She saw that rope hanging there, which I get great placement. You'll use it. But then she used that to help Neel climb the mountain, climb that ladder. And again, giving her, when she said, hey, are you still there? Yeah, this was great. Thank you so much for giving her not the compliments, but let her know that her decisions to help him were the correct one. And he appreciates that, which again then goes to the conversation between her and KB when they reunite. She's controlling those hook ship, whatever they are that are connected to the Onyx Cinder. She's controlling those when they rescue the other two kids. So again, that reunion was great. All of them are happy. I think it was Neel that said we're getting better at falling. I think every episode they fall down at some point. So again, a little bit of a comedic timing there. And then Fern being the first one, hey, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have left you behind. We shouldn't have separated. But Wim again telling her, you're amazing. Forget about that. You rescued us. You rescued the ship, or you got the ship. You're amazing what you're doing. And yeah, he saved me. He fixed my thing before I had a shutdown. But then again, kudos to the writers and to Bryce Dallas Howard to having that little 10-second scene take place separate. So just KB and Fern go to the side for 10 seconds to have that conversation. Hey, sorry I didn't listen to you. I need to understand that you can do the same things that I can. And KB on the other side, I'm sorry for not trusting you enough to tell you when I can do those things. So just to have them separate, have their own little moment to have that conversation was a great little scene that brings everything together from the arguments that they were having before. And again, as a parent with kids that are 11 to 14 years old, I've gone through this on the other side, just seeing it as a parent when your kids are in an argument with their best friends for years and years and years, don't talk to each other for a couple of weeks, and then they resolve the problem. Or like happened yesterday, it's almost fight, and then the next day, hey, I'm sorry, no bad blood, we're all good, and then keep going. So kids need to go through this. They need to have those adversities and then work through them. It was great to see this from this side. It doesn't always have to be Luke Skywalker or Obi-Wan can always having those issues. Let it come from people their own age. So that was great. All right, let me get another sip of water. All right, let's talk about saving the Onyx Cinder, which again, I said it a couple of days ago. Maybe I just posted it. The Onyx Cinder is a great ship design. And somehow it got even better. The Onyx Cinder is even cooler now, but we'll get to that. Like I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, they circle back to previous episodes when they finally get to the ship and we need to get away from this whatever machine, Toy Story 3 that's gonna eat everyone. I love how everyone knew exactly what to do because they had done it before. Maybe not, it hadn't worked before, but they knew what they were supposed to do. Like KB in that episode 2, she saw SM-33 turn on the ship. They asked, hey, how do I fly? Show me how to fly my ship. And he went to, well, this is that, this is the other thing. And KB said, yeah, I got it. So she went straight to, okay, I know how to turn on the ship. I saw SM-33 and I saw Joe do it, click, click, click. Everything's fine. Neel. Oh, after that, she knew how to turn everything on. She remembered that she jump started the engines by banging it with a pipe. She went back to do the same thing to get the ship going a little bit quicker. Neel had piloted the ship before in episode 3, and then, hey, Neel, you do the same thing that you did before, do it now. Fern is the one that's going to steer the ship. She knows how to raise speeder bikes, so she's the one that's going to control the ship. And then Wim, he shot the X-Wing a couple of weeks ago, so he knew to go straight to shooting at the weird creature that's coming. It's too invincible! So it was a great callback. But again, every kid knew exactly what to do because we've been shown this before in episodes 1, 2, or episode 2, 3, 4, and 5, or 2, 3, and 4. We've seen the kids do those same things. So it made sense that they all kind of click together. Now that they went through that traumatic experience of having to separate and come back together, they knew they were clicking. They knew what they were doing. Like other people out there said, now they're a crew. Now this skeleton crew is coming back together. It's coming together for the first time with no SM-33, no Jaw to tell them what to do, no adult around, just them. They knew exactly what they needed to do. So it was great to see that. And then they can't get away. It's clumped on too hard. And then Fern remembered the button that you don't press. Never ever, the whole demolition sequence. I love that it was Fern that pressed the button. At first I was, it should have been Wim because he wanted to press it, maybe given the option. But I love that it was Fern because she's been the one, even though she's when they're on at Aden, she's the rebel. Outside of Aden, she's been more conservative in how things are done. Like, we need to get back home. We need to follow step 1, step 2, step 3. And the first thing was, don't press that button. So we're never going to press it. So I'm glad that it was her on this position to realize, again, as the leader, to say, no, I need to sacrifice the ship. This is the right thing to do. Even though they said not push the button. And great it was her to say, you know what? I need to do this to get us out of here. Great music. Mike Giacchino killed it in the music building to the pressing the button. Go back and listen to it. Work great. Tension building, and then just stops at the right time. She presses the button. Boom. Onyx Cinder becomes 20 times cooler. Comes out this slick ship. I reminded me a little, all the metal around it reminded me a little bit of the Mandalorian ship that got blew up. Hopefully, Mando doesn't come back and take it for them, but he can't because Wim called Claimsies on the new ship. There was here Claimsies on the new ship. But wow, man, what a sequence! Again, this is why I don't think the show really slowed down. It was pretty tense and action packed through it. Great scene to get it through it, and then the symbolism of the Onyx ship shedding its skin, shedding its outer layer, and revealing the beauty that was hidden inside it. Same thing happened to all the kids here, right? They all shed something, trusting each other, showing who you really are, shedding all your fears. So was right there. Yeah, let's show it through a ship breaking off. And if you didn't get it, then that's fine. It's just a great scene. I didn't think about it the first time that I saw it. Just second time I'm thinking about it. Okay, yeah, of course it's the same. You can make those connections, that symbolism there. Again, great episodes. Great tension building, great pirate work, great character work between all the kids, and great representation for people that have any type of anything that makes them a little bit different. Whatever it is, there's still a lot of beauty there, but having that confidence in talking to people about it and the people listening to it to be able to listen and to understand why people are a little bit different, might take them a little bit longer to do things that they used to do before because there was an accident. We don't know. Like KB says, oh, after my accidents, I can do things the same way that I did before. And I don't think that Fern can handle that. So as we go forward in the last two episodes, we're going to find out what that accident was. Does Fern, maybe was she involved in the accident? Does she feel responsible for what happened? I think that might have come up already if we go into it. But maybe we learn what the accident was, that she needed those augmentations. Like they said, oh, we got to fix your augs. So, oh, sorry. All right, so as we're wrapping up, like two more episodes, 7 and 8. Are we getting I'll leave that for the end. So we got X-Wings. I mentioned last week. Oh, I think they're calling Kim for help. And the X-Wing will come down. We'll have X-Wings over Lanopa. We did get X-Wings over Lanopa. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Kim didn't show up. She wasn't called at any point. So I don't know how the X-Wing got there. But that's we don't need an explanation for that. But again, this was more for Wim and the kids to find. Oh, but Joe told us the X-Wing were the bad guys. No, they're the good guys. They're fighting off the pirates. So they're learning more about the galaxy, learning more about what's going on out there. That I think will come back for the ends. Like figuring out that X-Wings are the good guys. I think that Wim saying, I always mistake who the good guy is. I think all that is coming up towards the end. And like I said last week, one of my theories last week is maybe I think it is a post-imperial planet. They're maybe supplying credits to the Empire remnant. And then when they get back over there and they're talking to their parents, oh yeah, X-Wings are the good guys, and we found this lightsaber and all this stuff. They find out that Aten is actually the bad guys, and they're being supplying the old Empire. So that's going to be interesting to see how they go. And we'll see. So SM-33, mentioned at the beginning how loyal he is to the pirate code and following the captain, just getting shot down as soon as Jod said, hey, 33 attack. I'm thinking he's going to break the pirate code at some point to help the kids. Even though Jod is the captain, or maybe, I don't know, the Onyx scene, there's no more. They have this new ship. Maybe he doesn't have a pirate. Yeah, a captain. And then he will go back to the kids. But I think the kids are going to be in trouble, and he's going to break away from that pirate code that he can only help the captain. I think he's going to help the kids at some point later on. Kind of weird that you shoot that droid and just take him with you. Understand the show needs to go on, so he can't just leave it on Lanopa. I don't know why the pirates took the droid with them, but I think he'll break that pirate code and help the kids, even if Fern is not the captain again. Or maybe we'll have Wim as the captain. We'll see. Will the parents fight against the pirates? I'm guessing next week the pirates arrive on at Athens. They'll confront the parents when they go to get the Old Republic mint, and maybe the parents have to fight the pirates. But I think that maybe when the kids come back. Do you think we'll get the supervisor next week? If they arrive on at Athens looking for the Old Republic mint, will we see who the supervisor is, if there is a supervisor out there? So I guess my last question for you guys is, and on a lot of TV shows out there now, like the penultimate episode, so episode 7 is the big one. This is where the big battle happens, the big reveals are placed on the table. And then episode 8, the finale, is the fallout of everything that has happened. I think Star Wars, for the most part, hasn't gone that route. The finale is the big finale. It'll be interesting if next week is the big episode is next week, and then episode 8 is the fallout of everything. But thinking next week we'll have the pirates will leave at Athens, start causing chaos over there. Trying to think back on the trailers. I don't know what else we haven't seen from the trailers. I think there's one scene that we have Judd and the parents. That might be the only one. I don't know. I probably everything that we're gonna be seeing next 2 weeks is gonna be new. Will the kids make it to Athens next week? I want to say yes, but I'm not sure. I saw someone post that maybe the kids go to Kim next week just to get the ship fixed. The engine wasn't working too well. Maybe they have to go to Kim to get the ship fixed up and maybe get help from the X-Wings or something. Maybe, and this is how we get Kim back. I don't know. I wish that next week everyone's back on at Athens and we can get a good episode. This was a shorter one. I think second to last of shorter ones, almost like 30 minutes. But it worked great. Like, we got a great story. I didn't need an extra 5 minutes. The show worked great. The episode worked great in that time period. Or that runtime, I should say. But hopefully tomorrow is next week. Hopefully it was tomorrow. Next week's episode is a little bit longer so we can get the pirates into Athens, figure out what's going on at Athens. Why is this plan has been really kept guarded? Why is this Old Republic mint so important that no one else can know about it? And the whole planet needs to be isolated. Hopefully get a little bit more on that next week. And the kids can get to Athens and we can start setting up what the finale is going to be. And then in 2 weeks, we'll figure all of that out. But great episode, great series. I really love this one. Like I said, the first 3 were probably my favorite. Episode 2 and 3 were great. And then this one right there. So I would put those 4 in my top and then the others. Again, I love all the pirate vibes. We're going to get a lot of pirates going on now that Judd is back with them. I still hold true that Judd is obviously he's force sensitive, but that he had Jedi training, or he's been training the Jedi arts in some form, and we'll get some answers on that. There's a reason the lightsaber is there. Will Wim get a chance to wield it again, or will Judd use it? Like I said, the pirates don't know that he's force sensitive. I think maybe he's going to be betrayed again. Or maybe the Old Republic mint is not there. It doesn't work anymore. It's not as big as they think it is. And there's another mutiny and he's going to be killed. And then he uses the Force, gets the lightsaber. And then we learn what's going on. Again, I think that's there's a reason that they found a lightsaber. There's a reason that it's still there in play in this episode. So we're going to get more with that. And hopefully my big one about Athens still really having a hidden Jedi temple comes through fruition. I'll be happy. If I can get that one right, then I'll be happy. All right, guys. So that does it for today's episode of the Rebellion podcast. Today, Scuttle Podcast Row, thanks for being here. We'll keep in touch. I'll be on your show eventually later this year. From a certain point of view, Dale, Brennan, and anyone else that might have been on watching the show and couldn't get to the chat. Thanks for joining us. And again, if you're listening later, leave us a comment down below and let us know what you're thinking about Skeleton Crew and any big theories you might have. Again, our next couple of episodes will also be on a Friday. At least the next 2 episodes covering Skeleton Crew will be on Friday. I'll be out for 2 weeks in February, or at the end of the month, at least after we finish our Skeleton Crew recaps. I'll take a couple of weeks off. May the force be with you, Dale. May the force be with everyone. If we come back to shows on Saturday, I'll let you know. Eventually we'll do them again on Saturdays, but not yet. But we'll be back next week, next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Oti will join us back soon. So until then, stay safe, be safe, and may the force be with you. See you guys later, Skeleton Crew.